Today's episode of Wiki Sift is brought to you by jaundice. Just jaundice, the disease, jaundice.
I really, really hope that sometime during my life I'm able to play that Boonga Boonga arcade game.
I know. Apparently it is emulated though.
Well, okay, I can't play it emulated. I have to have the cabinet. I have to be able to have the buttocks in front of me.
I just joined in and heard I want to get the buttocks in front of me, and so that's all I'm getting.
Are you
is like
familiar
you want to purchase a Japanese ass.
Yeah, there is a Japanese arcade game where you literally stick things onto and into a buttocks.
Yes, I am aware.
All right, tonight I promise to not listen to Star Trek middies. Instead, I will be most likely playing the Star Trek NES games on my Retroid.
Okay, and tonight I'm not actually going to participate. I'm just going to sit here singing the Star Trek, the original series theme.
On loop?
That's all I'm going to do. I refuse to actually speak. I'm just going to go,
Tom, I'm quitting the show. Tom, I'm double quitting the show.
Oh, jeez! Jeez, Ian, my ears! Okay,
Hey, Tom, remember when I volunteered to do voice treatment? I'm not doing it anymore out of protest.
The Stevo giveth.
I've never had these. I've only had these headphones for like maybe a year.
glad I could have ruined them.
And I've never had them rattle before now. Thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ian.
Not a problem.
And now we can say this episode will only be available with high definition voice processing.
I don't know why I wanted to say that in like a monster truck announcer voice.
This Sunday, Stevo takes voice tracks and processes the hell out of them.
High definition voice processing. Be there!
Kids and old people not allowed. Without a bucket of fried chicken for me. Oh man, I'm gonna go watch Homestar Runner to fall asleep tonight. Thank you for the reminder.
It's been too long since I watched Homestar. Okay, so are we pretty much ready to go?
I'm ready when you are.
I'm going to need about 6 hours, or I'm ready to go now. One or the other, but not both.
Okay, then we better get started, because I don't have 6 hours. Welcome to Wiki Sift. I swear you guys are doing this on purpose.
You'll never be able to do the intro without some kind of interruption, I'm telling you.
Okay. Welcome to Wiki Sift, a shallow dive into pop culture and fandom. Today we're continuing our talk about Star Trek novels.
Tom, that was great. Can you go back and do it again as the monster truck announcer?
I'm not really
Today
good at
on Wiki Sift, we talk about Star Trek. Star Trek again.
Will Picard set up us the bomb?
We're gonna jump the Enterprise over 3 burning school buses. And then you'll just have to be there.
So, I am Tom, he is Evil Genius White, and today I am joined by...
I'm Stevo, host of Friday Night Fanfiction. That's it. That's the only thing notable about my life.
I heard a shuffling sound, like, it's not like you were pulling out some papers because you had more to say.
Yes, Mr. Senator?
Just silence.
Do you have something to add?
Sir, we are from the Star Trek legal team, and we would like to sue you for your misrepresentation, monster truck style of the series. My retort would be, hey, at least we didn't do a bunch of racist fucking novels.
I mean, you got him there. Okay, now do I go? Can I go now?
You go.
Yes. Yes.
I'm Ian M0X Diamond Burton. You might know me as the guy who yelled all the cuss words in The Brutal Doom. I also made a couple of crappy video games, and I'm working on a professional video game that won't be crappy, fingers crossed, called Ken's Labyrinth 2, which you can find on Twitter at Ken's Labyrinth 2. That's 2 I's, not the number 2. I also stream on Twitch under 0x Diamond.
So what constitutes a professional video game, and how does that differ from an unprofessional video game? Do these people just code without pants?
You get paid for it. I think that's the definition of professional.
I'm assuming, I was going to say professionally, the difference is I have a staff of people who have been paid for their efforts, whereas I'm, you know, for the crappy games I've made, it was me sitting here rubbing Cheeto crumbs into my belly at 4 in the morning going, one more MS Paint drawing for this, and then it's bedtime.
And purposely drawing Garfield wrong.
So, professional game, Boonga Boonga arcade cabinet, unprofessional game, what is it? Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, all right, you know what? Good. That's a good enough definition for me. Let's roll.
Okay. As Wiki Sift is a willfully ignorant fandom podcast where we don't actually directly consume media and just read what fans wrote about online, because I could watch all 141 Jackie Chan movies, but I think I'll just skim his IMDb page.
Hey, let's fucking do that! Let's go, man!
I mean, I agree.
You know what? You said 6 hours? Let's go for 60!
Yeah, I'm down.
141 Jackie Chan movies does not equal 60 hours.
Okay.
Sure, they're all short films,
I will download all of these Jackie Chan movies. I will put them in a playlist, and I will see how long
about
it
Jackie
is.
Chan. My favorite episode of The Simpsons.
If they were only like 5 to 10 minutes long, I would definitely binge all of those. But I think I'll just skim his IMDb page and see how many times he played a character named Jackie, and if it was more times than Tony Danza played someone named Tony. Does anyone want to guess?
7.
It's got to be less. It's got to be less. I don't think Tony Danza's ever played anyone not named Tony. I think he has a brain injury that prevents him from ever responding to anything but Tony, even if he's acting.
Well, not including where they play themselves, Jackie played a Jackie 5 times, and Tony Danza played a Tony 7 times.
I said 7!
Yes!
Yeah, you did. Although, one of those times was a spin-off of Who's the Boss, where he played Tony Maselligan.
Don't you technically disqualify me, you
So maybe 6 times more accurate?
God damn! How don't you do this to me? I haven't slept through the night since May. I need small victories, man.
Incidentally, that show is called
I don't
Living
even know
Dolls.
how many toes I have anymore.
I'm sorry, it was a show called Living Dolls? Living Dolls.
Yeah. It was about his daughter, played by Alyssa Milano, becoming a model, along with a young Halle Berry. Wikipedia says Living Dolls was universally panned by critics and received mostly negative reviews. It was the only series to receive an F grade by People magazine in its 1989 fall preview issue.
Jeez Louise.
ABC canceled the series after 12 issues.
I thought you were going to say ABC canceled the series after 12 minutes.
But today we're continuing our look at Star Trek
We didn't even
novels.
make it to the end of the first episode of Paw Patrol.
But today specifically, we're continuing our look at Star Trek novels because I am a self-appointed Sisyphus.
Hey,
where
you
were
said
we?
it, not me. That's
Did you just call yourself a self-appointed sissy face?
no, she
Sure.
said self-appointed syphilis.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm so sorry for your
Silly
loss
face.
then.
What?
I didn't think that was going to be what broke me. So I believe the last book we covered was Yesterday's Sun.
Correct.
Ian, you want to continue?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So last time we, of course, learned about Spock doing the nasty and the pasty. This time we got Mutiny on the Enterprise. What a shocker! This is a story idea that hasn't already been done like 150 different times.
Is it Spock again?
I would imagine Mutiny on the Enterprise is like...
Is it Spock again? The answer is The answer is surprisingly no. But please go on, Steven.
Well, I was going to say, I would imagine mutiny on the Enterprise is, okay, they mutiny once, they nominate somebody else to be captain, they're captain for 5 minutes and realize what a shit show it is, and then they ask to be mutinied against again, and it just goes all the way back to putting Kirk in charge.
That sounds about
right. But the
right.
5 minutes when Sulu was captain were fucking fabulous.
I like the idea that when they mutiny, they don't like imprison Kirk or kill him. They just put him in the back of the queue.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, McCoy, it's your turn to be captain now.
All right, Kirk, you've had your 5 minutes in the captain's chair.
Ew, somebody left a nasty in the captain's chair.
Which of you 17 captains did
sorry,
it?
I was giving it all she's got.
Scotty went full power on them cushions.
So the blurb from the cover says that the Enterprise is once again crippled. What a shocker. What a shocker. It's another story where the Enterprise is crippled.
So the Enterprise encountered a somewhat dense cloud of space dust.
Yeah, or, you know, like Scotty farted next to the wrong tube and that, like, made it power off or something.
Oh, geez, the entire engineering section is gone.
They're stuck in orbit around a planet that is itself a living organism, which has stalled out a highly important peace mission to the Orion Arm. More unfortunate is that a hot alien babe is casting a spell over the ship that first makes them pacifists, then mutinous. Now Kirk's embroiled in a terrifying war to regain control of his ship.
Okay, I'm not invested. What's the hook?
No, see, that was the hook. The hook is hot alien babe, right? You know, hungala bungala hookala, woo, yeah, all right, woo, bungala bungala, hila hala, woo.
Tom, our guest is giving me a fear boner. I don't know what to do.
I do that a lot.
Get or give fear, but okay, you know what? I'm not going to ask the question.
Both. This plot is very fan-fiction-y already. Like,
yeah, so
like they were mind controlled into Mutiny because that's the only way it would happen.
Yeah.
You know, circling back to the Homestar Runner, this does sound like something that Strongbad would invent for the Limousine TV show. It's like, hot babeland of the galaxy is inspiring me to mutiny.
Why is everybody mutinying?
Sorry, JC. We just don't have any more hot alien babes in order to get on this ship. Well, all right.
All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty here. All right, so even though the Enterprise is in desperate need of maintenance work, the ship is dispatched to the Orion Arm. The Romulans have been making incursions in the area, and the cooperation of the planets Amdon and Journamoria is needed to patrol it. But the two planets are nearly at war with each other over food shortages, so the Federation is sending an ambassadorial team.
Journamoria is something I should be familiar with on the Mayo Clinic website?
You need to take your Amdon to treat your Journamoria.
Oh, look, I'm already a day and a half away from finishing a bout of antibiotics. I don't need anything else that's going to upset my stomach.
Ask your doctor if Amdon is right for you.
Doctor, it's not.
It never is.
I don't know why, but the fact that Amdom is spelled with two M's just weirds me out, and I can't put my finger on why.
Yeah, I don't know why. It feels like there should be an A is the thing. It feels like it should be Amadon, but it's not. It's Amdon.
Yeah, something like that.
So en route, the Enterprise rescues a female alien, Lorelei, from a damaged spaceship. Committed to absolute pacifism and possessed of an almost hypnotic ability to persuade people of her viewpoint, Lorelei begins convincing several crew members that the Enterprise's mission will precipitate a war, since Amdon has a defense pact with the Federation and both sides will assume they will assist them. Kirk organizes a public debate between Lorelei and the ambassador, Zarv, which only leaves more people siding with Lorelei.
Is Lorelei the hot babe?
Yeah, obviously.
Well, I'm just saying, okay, well, Lorelai sounds close to Laurie, which is my aunt, and I really don't want to think about her that way. I just wanted to confirm before we continue.
It's your hot aunt.
No.
It's your hot, sexy aunt in a G-string.
That's also even worse
baby
because
oil over herself.
My mom is a twin,
side.
and I don't want to think about anything that looks like my mom being hot in a G-string.
And then your mom joins Lorelai by the poolside and says, honey, can you rub some oil on my back?
My fear boner is gone, thank you.
Now you have a weird internet boner.
No, now I have a nothing.
Sure you don't. Wink, wink.
I noticed that in fiction, pacifists are always somehow, or at least in science fiction, fantasy or whatever, they always have pacifists who still like commit horrendous war crimes, but they do it in indirect ways so they can still call themselves pacifists, and it's really weird.
Yeah, they're always assholes.
You know, that is weird.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm a pacifist, but I will mind control you into taking over your ship for peace.
I'm a pacifist, and if you don't agree with me, you're a piece of fucking shit.
Did you ever see the Stargate episode where friggin' Quark was in it as a pacifist?
No, but that sounds hilarious.
So he, the actor who played Quark is in there, and it's like this tree-loving, forest-dwelling, we only heal whatever, we can make ourselves invisible. And it's so weird to have him not trying to buy or sell me something the entire fucking episode. It doesn't sit well with me. It's season 1, so I guess that tracks.
There was an episode of Little House on the Prairie, I think, with fucking Christopher Walken as like just this like nice guy. And it's like, that's the worst fucking casting I've ever seen. Christopher Walken in like a fucking like button-up shirt and black suspenders with a straw hat. Well, howdy there, partner. I'm here.
So how old was he? Like 17 years old?
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Anyways,
I don't know
back to the hot Lorelai.
Yeah, either that, it was some show like that, if not that actual show. It was some show that was just like, you know, oh, happy family time on the prairie, blah, 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 whatever. So, the Enterprise's engines blow out, and a nearby planet is shown to contain the necessary minerals needed. Spock and McCoy lead a team to the surface, but are unable to communicate with the inhabitants who take them prisoner. Zarv and his aides beam down to negotiate without Kirk's permission, but are also imprisoned, with the transporter overloading in the process. Lorelai refuses to allow Kirk to use non-lethal force to rescue them, and the entire crew sides with her. Kirk is marooned on the planet.
No, I'm sorry. Thank you, Wikipedia. This is literally the definition of the show. Apparently, Walken decided to become an actor after appearing in a sketch with Martin and Lewis on the Colgate Comedy Hour.
Oh, like the toothpaste?
I didn't know that was a thing. Yes, I'm dead fucking serious. That is...
Yes. Back in the day, there were tons of shows that were just named after products. They would be like, yes,
Jesus.
The Sunbeam Bread Variety Hour.
It ran for 6 seasons. It had 221 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, variety shows, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the apex and then the nadir of the Star Wars Holidays special, but that's for a different episode of Wiki Sift.
Yeah, this one's about them Star Treks, not the Star Wars.
We could cover the Star Wars Holiday special in 5 minutes, so I don't think we can make a whole episode of it.
Challenge accepted.
It was a bad idea. The end. So I love this though. That Spock and McCoy go down to the planet and they can't talk to the natives, so they get taken prisoner. So then the fucking ambassador, who's needed for their mission, goes like, fuck Kirk, I'm gonna go rescue him. He gets imprisoned, and then Kirk's like, all right, we need to go rescue them. And Lorelai goes, no. And everyone goes, we like the babes idea. And then Kirk gets dropped on the planet.
Okay, the way you said it just means like Kirk gets jettisoned out a tube from the ship and lands on the planet. No suit, no escape pod, just
The question is how he's sent to the planet.
Kirk's hair gel shielded him on re-entry.
Honestly, there is a question because, as I said, the transporter overloaded after Zarv went down. So how did they maroon Kirk on the planet? I'm assuming
they got on a shuttle, and
that's my guess, is it must have been shuttle based. But then, like, what did they do? Like, we're gonna pacifistly force you to pilot it down to that planet. We're pacifists. We won't shoot at you, but we will send you an angry message on the communicator if you try and go anywhere else.
Yeah, did they, like, just politely ask him to come onto the shuttlecraft with them, then fly down for 2 hours, drop him off, and then fly back for 2 hours? Like, well, he's probably gonna die down there, but good job, guys.
But we're pacifists, so as long as we didn't hurt him, if he dies down there because of us, it still is pacifism because we didn't hurt him. Directly.
You know what? That's some good mental backflipping. I would like to subscribe to your publication.
Actually,
thank you.
They did establish that Lorelai can convince people of anything, so maybe she just told Kirk to fly a shuttle down there, and he's like, oh, okay, that sounds reasonable.
I think that we should go down there and rescue him. No, get in the shuttle. Okay, I have no rebuttal to that. Goodbye.
Or rather, don't get in the shuttle. We'll just send you down naked.
Just get in that airlock.
No, that's how they convinced him.
That's how they convinced him.
How do we know that's not how she's convinced everybody, is just like she's naked and she's just like, hey, you should be a pacifist. And they're all just like, yeah.
Ah, okay. So she has the my tits are the hypnotoad syndrome.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
In this episode, the crew of the Enterprise will be played by a bunch of pathetic virgins.
I think in Kirk's case, it's just convincing him to become naked, because that's where he's the most powerful.
Oh, that's true.
It's like, Kirk, I need you to fly the shuttle down. It's like, you just wrested control of the ship away from me. I'm not gonna do anything you say. It's like, you can get naked. That is a very good point.
What if you did it naked?
And he's just like on the planet doing naked tuck and rolls while dramatic music plays.
Hey up, hey up, hey up.
Lorelai negotiates with the planet, actually a single organism which the apparent inhabitants are a part of, and manages to obtain the minerals the Enterprise needs. Kirk rescues the landing party, and together they hijack the shuttle, taking the minerals to the Enterprise, although Zarv and his team are killed in the process. The crew are overcome, and Lorelai is imprisoned.
I'm sorry, I'm just still picturing Kirk naked through all of this. I can't not picture it.
I'm more distressed by the
very
thought...
model of a modern major general.
Now I'm just picturing Captain Kirk naked singing Gilbert and Sullivan, so thanks for that one. But I'm kind of more upset here by the idea that the entire planet is one organism, ... including the individual inhabitants. How does that work?
Yeah.
There's like people walking around on the surface of it that are technically part of the same organism. Like, did they all have little umbilical cords like running down their legs like into a hole somewhere? Or
not something I want to think about. Let's go back to thinking about naked Kirk.
I am the very model of a modern major general.
Yeah, like, can I imagine them all as like a hive mind and the planet is like communicating to them or something, but they're not physically all part of it. But I don't know. It's
a very weird scenario.
I feel like it's probably explained in a book, but
so what happens? Like, so we've set up the drama. What's the payoff?
Oh, I got that for you. Don't worry. The Enterprise continues to Amdon, where Kirk attempts to talk peace, but Lorelai's prediction comes true and the two sides begin firing on each other and the Enterprise. In desperation, Kirk beams the opposing leaders aboard and imprisons them with Lorelai, who convinces them to order a ceasefire. Lorelai remains behind to help work out a peace agreement.
Instead of a ceasefire, they ordered a pizza.
But They just start attacking each other for no reason, just so she can say, "See, I was right."
Quick, she's being pacifist at us. Fire!
They have brought a pacifist into our midst. Destroy them.
Use every bit of artillery we have. None shall survive.
Yeah, actually, don't do that. She does make a convincing point.
I love the idea that, like, after all of this shit, including Kirk being, like, taken off of the ship physically, they get there and she was right, and then they need her to fucking, like, fix the situation. Like, what is the moral of this story is what I'm asking. The moral of the story
is never lie.
Kirk is an asshole, and this woman was right all along.
The moral of the story is always exercise naked singing Gilbert and Sullivan.
That is a moral I think we could all stand to live by.
The whole premise and payoff, as Tom mentioned earlier, it's so fanfic that I can't even get invested, even with the prospect of either naked titties or a naked Kirk.
It's one of those things where it feels like Lorelai is the self-insert fanfic character, and they're like, Lorelai is perfect and beautiful, and she would never hurt anyone, and she'll stop anyone who wants to do bad things because she can.
Yeah, Lorelai walked down the hallway, a bunch of preps showed up, she put up her middle finger at them.
Lorelai was wearing her black Avril Lavigne t-shirt, and she was going to the Skinny Puppy concert.
My Chemical. Okay, you know what? You're right. Since it is a female self-insert and she is a pacifist, it would be Avril Lavigne and not My Chemical Romance. Touche.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Honestly, this sounds better than any of the other books that we've covered so far.
Yeah, as sad as that
is. It sounds readable, but it doesn't sound enjoyable.
It sounds like it starts out slow and then goes nowhere, is what it sounds like. Basically, it's like you started the car, got out to go get something, and then, like, forgot you were going somewhere and left the car running.
That's the moral. That's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is have space AAA so your ship never breaks down.
There's nothing funny about vapor lock.
Yeah, because if your car breaks down, inevitably you will be confronted with a socio-political confrontation over which you have no control. So just keep on trucking.
That's the moral. Keep on trucking. That's the moral of the book.
Anyway, this story sounds head-scratching, but it's mostly coherent. Like, there's no points in the story when I'm like, wait, what just happened? Like...
Yeah, it's less an issue of being completely off the fucking wall bonkers and just being like, why was this written? It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy of nothing happening.
It's like one of those cookie cutter stories where you just, it's, what is it? Mail merch form filler. You put in the names, you put in the places, you put in the stuff, and it fills it out.
I was just going to say, you could put in, you could put anyone into this story with Lorelai from any show, and it would work. You could take the fucking cast and crew of Harry and the Hendersons, and like, oh, the dad from the family is taking Harry to a Bigfoot conference when their car breaks down, and they pick up a hitchhiker named Lorelai, and she says you shouldn't bring Bigfoot to the Bigfoot conference.
But... Okay, so what was the name of the story again?
What, the one about Harry and the Hendersons, or
Mutiny
the story we just read?
No. The name of this. I have an idea. What is the name of the novel
Mutiny
that we
on
are
the
currently
Enterprise.
Okay.
Mutiny on the Enterprise.
Mutiny on the Enterprise. Challenge to our listeners. Can you rewrite that story as an episode of Seventh Heaven?
I actually do want to see as many different interpretations of this as possible in different franchises. So.
Yes, go nuts. Bonus points if you do anything from the WB / the CW.
Make it an episode of the Colgate Comedy Hour.
Give me a fan fiction like this only about the day the clown cried.
And then the associate producer Lorelai came up to Jerry Lewis and said, "Jerry, you shouldn't be rewriting this movie. You're turning it into a mockery." And then she convinced the cast and crew to stop working.
So, next book.
The Wounded Sky. The Wounded Sky. This one has a pretty rad cover, which has the requisite portraits of Kirk and Spock, but behind them is this really cool space jellyfish instead of their boring old ship.
Yeah, I kind of love this cover.
It's pretty great.
I see it's Boris Vallejo again.
Oh, yeah. So we've got a blurb again, and the blurb tells us here that another sexy alien babe has come face to face with Captain Kirk, this time presenting the Enterprise with the honor of testing the intergalactic inversion drive, an engine that transcends warp drive, after a failed attempt by the Klingons to stop the test.
That's an album cover from Star Castle that somebody photoshopped Kirk and Spock onto.
Oh.
I'm just glad they didn't accidentally put the art from Disney's The Black Hole again.
Yeah.
I will be severely disappointed if this story doesn't feature Spock holding a knife against the sky and say, "I'll do it. I'll fucking do it."
I will fucking shank you, Sky. And there's like a pot of dirt in the ship from the planet going, "He'll do it. He'll do it, man."
he's crazy, man.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Apparently this is
We've
now
gone down the fan fiction.
Apparently this is now like an episode of Ren and Stimpy or something. I don't fucking know. And Spock's just like, "I told you I'd shoot, but you didn't believe me. Why didn't you believe me,
Why
Captain?"
didn't you believe me? Believing me would have been most logical, Captain.
A fly marrying a bumblebee. That's very illogical. The little critters of nature, they don't understand that they're ugly. So
Is that
after
Spock's all those moments lost in time, tears in rain speech?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oh, there we go. Somebody do Mutiny on the Enterprise, but make it Blade Runner.
Oh, I thought you were going to say do Mutiny on the Enterprise, but it's Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, no. That too.
You idiot! Now I'm going to have to hurt you, Stimpy. But Ren, our new friend Lorelai, says you shouldn't.
And Scotty shows up and just goes, "No, sir, I don't like it."
Okay, so the Klingons try to stop the test, and things take a turn as the crew begins suffering mysterious symptoms and time ceases to have any meaning. Now they must work to repair the fabric of reality itself before the universe dies screaming or whatever.
The time losing all meaning, they just got high. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought until you said the entire reality of the universe is collapsing.
But
Yeah.
like, everybody is their own universe, man.
Yeah, if you think about it, like, because you perceive the universe from your own mind, like, you're the center of your own universe, bro. The universe wouldn't exist if you didn't exist. Whoa.
That is most illogical, but I like it.
So far, what I'm interpreting this as is there's like a drug that makes your drug trip come real.
That would be
Weird.
a good story.
It wouldn't make any sense, but it would be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, the actual summary. The Enterprise is assigned to test a new propulsion system based around a speck of material with infinite mass, which will allow the ship to blink out of existence and reappear outside the galaxy. The Klingons attack once the Enterprise is out of Federation space, and the ship turns a star supernova and uses the drive to evade them.
Okay.
So already, this is the most bullshitty bullshit I've ever heard.
I only graduated high school. I don't have like a big science background, but a lot of what you just said made my brain go.
I'm here thinking, what's the complete antithesis of the Prime Directive? You know, not interfering with shit that shouldn't be interfered with. Let's make a star go nova.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Just to defeat your pursuers. Don't bother using, like, you know, photon torpedoes or something. Blow up a fucking star. Decimate an entire star system because the Klingons are attacking.
Jesus.
I'm still just stuck on, oh, we discovered this type of matter that has infinite mass.
Yeah, that's another one that's really great. I don't claim to be, like, you know, Mr. You know, Professor Science nerd either, but pretty sure that, like, violates the laws of thermodynamics or something, or, you know, just basic fucking physics.
Also, I realize that over the last 2 years, because of the pandemic, because of being a parent, I have gained some weight. But to say the infinite mass, that's really insulting, man. I will lose the weight.
Listen, we'll get through this together.
But if you lose any weight at all, do you actually lose any, or do you lose all of it?
Tom, what do you mean you don't have like a firm grasp on science? These are the questions that are asked at TED Talks, man.
However, during the course of the inversions, the crew experienced hallucinations, seeing historical and future events they did not witness and each other's past experiences. Worse, their next jump is accompanied by another supernova, and observation shows an area of space where entropy and the normal flow of time has ceased. The use of the drive has torn a hole with another universe where entropy does not exist.
This week on Quantum Leap.
Yeah, what? So basically, this is the worst possible fucking idea anybody has ever had. Why don't we make a ship drive that when we use it, it will extinguish all fucking life in the entire star system surrounding us, and also it rips a hole in the fucking universe. This sounds great.
It sounds like the author of this stole a bunch of science papers at random and just read the first line of each one and then just just like scrambled something together.
So what's the solution? Is this the whole like Ripley killing herself at the end of Alien 3 where the Enterprise kills itself in order to unfuck the universe?
Well, we'll get to that, but I do want to point out, one fucking thing here, and it's that the person who wrote this has literally zero grasp of how science works. And I'm not talking about like their theories in play here. I'm simply talking about the fact that, and I know, don't get me wrong, I know there were a couple of Star Trek episodes where they implied like the same kind of thing happened, where they just said, hey, I made a thing, want to test it, but that's not how these things work. You would do a smaller scale test of this device before you started doing like, hey, I built the full model thing, you want to test it in your starship? And you would probably have noticed like, hey, this is fucking up everything every time we run it. Maybe we shouldn't put it in a starship.
This is some like Douglas Adams crap here. Like,
yeah,
we asked the improbability device to be infinitely powerful, and it just became infinitely powerful, and we just stuck in a ship, and now we're flying everywhere in the universe at once.
I think probably what happened during testing is they did a tiny version of the engine, and they only destroyed a tiny universe, and because they couldn't see it, they thought everything was fine.
They blew up the dust speck that the Who's lived on.
Well, I'm dying to hear what the actual answer is, though. So,
so the Enterprise journeys into the anomaly, where the crew sees themselves traveling through a landscape to reach the being at the center of the universe. What?
So this is No Man's Sky.
I'm sorry, that one would caught me off guard. Yeah, this is now No Man's fucking Sky. No Man's Sky, a Star Trek The Wounded Sky novel
What a
universe.
waste of a Boris Vallejo cover. Jesus Christ.
So they're traveling towards this being at the center of the universe. Spock, Nyota Uhura, and Dahenish, a crew member whose species perceives time differently.
Who?
He's
Dahenish? Dahenish!
No, I don't. I would like a regular donut, not a Dahenish.
No, Dahenish. That's when that's when an elderly Jewish man orders a Danish.
It's the worst Dunkin' Donuts I've ever been to. Don't even understand what I'm trying to get.
Dehanish, a crew member whose species perceive time differently. How would that even work? Not even talking about how would you perceive it differently. How would a crew member who perceives a thing as common to our nature as time in a different way even function on a ship full of people, full of machinery designed by people who perceive time in a wholly different way than them?
Drugs. That's just the answer to drugs.
Ask your doctor if Amdon is right for you.
This is kind of amazing. No, but continue. This is getting really good.
So they travel to the center and they manage to communicate with the creature, giving it self-awareness for the first time and convince it the breach between universes must cease.
Oh.
All right, well, I hope you guys, you know what? Here it is. Here's the Prime Directive. We're just gonna tear it right up. All right, Prime Directive's gone.
I hope I'm about to pronounce this right. Click. The scientists who invented the drive.
Oh, it's Vincent Picklick.
Yeah.
It's Mrs. Picklick from Superman.
Yeah, did he cut out for anybody else, or was that just me?
No. It's spelled K''T''LK. Or click.
Oh, jeez. I'm trying not to read ahead, but every sentence of this is madness.
That's not a name. That's a Street Fighter special move.
Click.
Like, Stevo, listen to this.
Click. The scientist who invented the drive
I am listening to it.
Is able to weave a universe for the creature to inhabit after they are gone and stays behind when the breach is sealed. What the fuck are you talking about? Click weaves a universe.
Okay. That whole paragraph, I think, needs to be restated. So the Enterprise enters the anomaly and they see themselves traveling to reach the being at the center of the universe, which wasn't mentioned at any point before then. A crew member whose species perceives time differently is the only one able to communicate with the creature at the center of the universe, and just talking to it gives it self-awareness for the first time. And then the scientist who invented the drive weaves a whole universe for the creature to inhabit. Like,
this just sounds like somebody took shrooms and sat in front of two TVs, one watching Star Trek the original series, the other watching the Yellow Submarine movie, and got confused.
This is a science fiction Mad Lib where nothing relates to anything said in the previous sentence.
But the final part of this...
I don't know if I would go that far. I think it's just...
Listen.
Instead of drawing the line somewhere, there is no sand. That is the mantra this author took.
There's not just no sand. They somehow have removed sand from this universe. Allow me to continue, please.
Yes.
The Enterprise returns to its own universe where the effect of the breach has been reversed. Kirk finds that, as per her species' reproduction, left behind an egg which hatches a new version of herself who joins Scotty in working on the drive again. She hatches out of an egg she laid. What the fuck?
Wow.
All right, so there's a third TV along with Yellow Submarine and Star Trek TOS, and it's the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I need to give this author a standing ovation, because this started out as stupid nonsense and turned into ingenious nonsense. Like, this...
Listen, they might not know how science works, they might not know how physics work, but they do know how hallucinations work, apparently.
I feel like this is actually some ingenious parody that they disguised as a normal Star Trek novel, and nobody questioned them when they submitted it. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll publish this, it's fine. And they're just snickering to themselves the whole time.
Wait a minute, this was adapted as an episode of TNG?
Wait, what? Now that part I did not catch. Where are you reading this?
I'm looking at the About section. The Wounded Sky. It says the author would 4 years later adapt the novel's plot for the teleplay of the first season Star Trek The Next Generation episode Where No One Has Gone Before.
Oh, yeah, the one with the Traveler.
Oh, no.
Except the Traveler one actually, was not nearly this insane.
It made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of coherent. Like,
yeah, whereas this is just like, if it was a full-on adaptation more so, it would be like, and then Wesley Crusher suddenly bloomed into a beautiful flower, and out of the flower flew bees with the face of his mother, and together they united the universe into 1,000 years of everlasting peace, and the space jellyfish came down from the heavens and said, Blee-ah-hoo-re-ha.
so is the jellyfish the being at the center of the universe, or?
That's my guess, is because it's on the cover. But they don't make it clear, so you get what you pay for on Wiki Sift.
All right, should we just move on to the next book? Because
I don't think there's anything else we can say. There's nothing else we can add to this one at this point, except just God bless you, sir, for this masterwork of what the fuckery.
Like, I'm kind of looking back at how it was like this science doesn't make any sense, and now I'm like, oh, that was the least of the problems. I don't even care about that anymore.
That's how they get you. It's a double whammy. Like, they don't know anything about science, so they get that out of the way right away, so that when the really fucked up crazy shit happens, you don't even remember how wrong they were about everything before.
According to TV tropes, apparently there's unresolved sexual tension between Scotty and Katilk.
Well, I think we need a Wounded Sky, too, in order to, maybe resolve a little bit of that tension.
Oh, can we not talk about somebody's Wounded Sky? That sounds like a really negative thing to call a vagina.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Sorry.
Life is good.
Okay, so
what's the next story?
The next one we've got here is the Trellisane Confrontation. And this one is a real oddball one because I don't actually have a lot on it. I have, well, let me get into it. This one sounds insane, with the book cover telling us that after rushing to war-torn Trellisane, Kirk finds himself aboard the bridge of a Klingon warship.
How the hell do you spell that, by the way?
Trellisane.
You're not fully insane unless you're Trellisane insane.
Trellisane in the membrane.
Ask your doctor if Trellisane is right for you.
Do not take Trellisane if you're already taking Amdon.
Trellisane may only be taken urethral-y.
Oh, God. All right. Kirk finds himself aboard the bridge of a...
I'm just imagining, like, someone being wheeled into a hospital, and the nurse is telling the doctor he took both Amdon and Trellisane.
And the doctor just drops his clipboard.
Call the coroner.
They look at the guy, and he's hatching an egg that hatches himself.
Looks over. Okay, never mind. Call 2 coroners.
So
I need a tissue.
Kirk finds himself aboard the bridge of a Klingon warship. McCoy sits down to dinner with fucking cannibals, and the Enterprise is surrounded by Romulans. With power up for grabs in the neutral zone, only the ship's crew stand between the status quo and utter disaster. But here's the thing. They don't have any more summary than that. They only had like 3 captain's logs from the book.
I kind of love how they dropped all this information and then don't explain. That kind of makes this more fun for me.
Captain's log, stardate 7521.6. Standard orbit has been established around the outpost colony on Trafalg. Due to the sensitive nature of this mission, I had planned to beam up the prisoners and return to them directly to Starfleet headquarters. However, the governor of the colony, Larek Kapak, has issued a formal invitation to me to pay a courtesy call. This is a request I have, of course, agreed to honor. The Rak Kapak! The Rak Kapak! He's insane in the Trellisane! Woo! Coming to you live from the colony on Trafalg!
Kafar!
Captain's log, stardate 7526.4.
Did I lose my connection again?
No, yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Did Steve die?
He said he was getting Kleenex, and that was like an hour ago.
Well, I think he's dead then, so I can take his place.
What I do now?
He will be missed.
Oh, we thought you were dead. I was just about to start.
I said I had to go get a tissue.
Sometimes I think I can still hear his voice.
I thought you just said you needed a tissue. I didn't think you actually got one.
Well, Okay, I'm back and not dead. What was the joke that I missed?
Lyric Kapak. Lyric Kapak is a great name. From the colony on Trafalg.
This is not quite Droppler Zord,
but by the way, I did have to call my doctor. I should not take Amdol and Trellisane at the same time.
Oh, fuck, man. I already told you that.
Oh.
Yeah, you did, but then he reversed time so that he never heard the explanation.
Oh, right, I forgot. And then we forgot this isn't the original Steve. This is the Steve that hatched out of the egg that Steve left behind when he sealed himself in the other universe that he wove.
So it's Steve with 2 S's.
And a silent Q,
Because
oddly.
I hate people who spell my name with a Fatifin.
Captain's log, stardate 7526.4. The Enterprise is in orbit of Trellisane. I have spoken to Vedran, a member of one of Trellisane's many Gemats, or ruling councils. Vedran's is the voice in the message recorded on Trafalg. He has promised to explain to me how their system of government works, but his more immediate concern is the threat to Trellisane. I am scheduled to beam down and speak to him about it shortly. Captain's log, stardate 7532.8. The Enterprise will be leaving Trellisane orbit for Starbase 28 in a matter of moments. Upon arrival, I will deliver our surviving prisoners. I will also dump to the Starbase diplomatic computer the full details of the accord I have signed with the Romulans and the Klingons. So we know nothing except that a lot of people died and a historic peace treaty was signed here.
Okay, were these log entries like on the cover of the book, or did somebody like go through the book and just look for the log entries?
Somebody posted these to the memory beta page for it. So like someone put in the effort to put these log entries on there, but didn't bother to summarize the story otherwise.
Yeah, these give us no information at all. Like,
they just tease you. They're like,
it doesn't even tease you because it doesn't hook you or anything. Like, it doesn't.
Well, it doesn't really hook you, but it tells you that like
this.
The last one is like, well, a lot of people died, and I made a historic peace accord. So
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going through and changing all of my registrations to have my new name with the 2 S's.
The only other information that I have here is this novel was the first pocket Star Trek novel to be published without the Timescape imprint labeling, and the novel was collected along with 3 others as a part of the Star Trek the 20th Anniversary Collection #2. That's literally the only other information I have.
So what you're telling me is this wasn't even worth reading and then summarizing for a single person on the internet. That's a low bar.
Yeah.
It's not like nobody had access to it because somebody...
I like this one even better because the top of the page on Memory Alpha has a single line summary of it.
Oh, an attack on a small planet triggers a deadly interstellar war!
Wow!
And by the way,
Who cares?
McCoy has a nice sit-down dinner with cannibals.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to know more about this,
Well,
please.
that's great. What's the next book?
Corona. So get the giggles about beer and or unpopular viruses out of your system now about the book named Corona.
Uh-oh.
You get it.
Oh.
We all
I think
get
I
it,
got
right?
those giggles out on March 16th, 2020. We're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably when I wrote these notes for an idea of how fucking much of this we've been doing. So the cover features Spock gently holding the shoulders of a hot Vulcan lady wearing what looks uncannily like a dress she grabbed off the costume rack on the set of Little House on the Prairie. So it all comes back to Christopher Walken.
It looks like Leonard Nimoy is being sued, and in court, he's shoving his lawyer in front of her and saying, she did it. He just looks perturbed.
Like, I just see this Victorian Vulcan being manhandled by Spock and looking really uncomfortable about it.
Hey, we don't see Spock's other hand. We don't know what he's doing.
And we don't know what Kirk's doing either. We can't see his arms at all, but we can see him making a face.
Well, Kirk's not even there. He looks half corporeal.
Oh, Kirk, that's Kirk's Force Ghost. In this story, Kirk is dead.
The little icon in the little logo at the bottom left, it's for pocket books or whatever. Like when zoomed out, it looked to me like Kirk was pointing a phaser at them.
You stealing my girl, huh?
And Kirk is saying, don't move, I'll fucking do it. And Spock's like, yeah, he did. You should see what he did to the sky once.
You should see what he did to Spock 1.
Spock's like, anyway, it looks like the Enterprise is left without us. Please order us an Uber, Romulan lady.
So our premise this time is weird as hell. As if that's a change from the norm.
Hold on. What do you say it's that weird after what we just talked about? That gets my attention.
Well, listen to this next sentence.
Okay.
And judge for yourself.
All right.
A gang of sentient protostars called Corona has taken control of a team of Vulcan scientists, and now Kirk has to rescue them. The caveat here is there's a plucky...
Well, hold on. 1 second. A gang of sentient protostars walking down the street, leather jackets and mohawks. You looking at me,
Correct,
man?
yes.
This is basically the Beat It music video, but...
Listen, motherfucker, I'll come right in. I see you over there living on your little Class M planet. You want me to come in there and fuck up your orbit? You'll go flying right into your sun, dumbass. I'll do it. I've done it before. I'll do it again.
That's what Spock's doing. Spock's like, she has the money. Take her.
Please, I don't want any trouble.
They take the Romulan. Spock runs away, mutters under his breath, this used to be a nice neighborhood.
Kirk pulls into the system. He's like, all right, you know the drill. Everybody roll up your windows.
Be sure to hide your phaser and your tablet in the glove compartment. You can't be seen there. There's a little parking meter with a sign that says, we are not responsible for stolen objects. God damn it.
So the caveat here is that there's a plucky female reporter aboard the ship, and the computer has been refitted in such a way that it can choose to override his commands, which seems like a really good idea that won't backfire ever. Suddenly,
it's a really weird adjective to call anybody in the Star Wars universe plucky, considering there are aliens that have feathers. So you say plucky, this person's gonna go around and de-feather all of these aliens.
it gets better.
I'm just laughing at the idea of like last time we drove through this neighborhood, someone stole a tricorder of the glove compartment and it was stolen by a protostar.
The Enterprise was left in orbit on top of 2 concrete blocks, and the engine nacelles were gone. But no. There's more.
Yeah, can you come pick me up?
Like who took the Enterprise's nacelle and a Protostar throwing dice in an alley. He's like, I didn't see nothing.
Yeah. Anyways, Mom, you were right. I really shouldn't have gone to the club here. Yeah, the car is kind of not running anymore.
Suddenly, the Enterprise finds that it must save itself and the whole universe before Corona can unleash a new Big Bang.
What?
Yeah. So the
All
evil
right,
gang.
so they're not a gang, they're a terrorist cell.
No, in the future, that's just gang activity. In the future, terrorists are the ones who like erase multiple universes.
Oh, okay. So almost what they did in The Wounded Sky, but not.
Yeah. Yeah, similar but different in its own insane way.
Yeah, this is a little ludicrous. Please continue.
The Enterprise has been chosen to trial new computer monitors that are capable of overriding command and medical decisions.
We've seen what happens
Okay.
when they do scientific test runs on this ship before!
Not only that, we've fucking seen
Stop
what
it!
happens. We've seen what happens when you give a computer control of the Enterprise multiple times already.
Oh my god. Surely it can't malfunction the 97th time!
400th time's the charm. That's what I always say. We really definitely worked out all the bugs this time. We stayed up all night just making sure we got the bugs out. Like one night? Yeah, one whole night.
Anyways, park 2 blocks down. The last time I was here, I lost my nacelles.
A reporter, Rowena Mason, is on board to observe the trial. Which is another thing that's just like, what? When is the last time you saw a journalist somewhere in Star Trek? Like, that seems so wildly out of place.
It's also like, why would you invite a journalist to come look at you like beta testing something potentially deadly? Like, would you like say, hey, all the bugs are finished, it's all perfect, come report on this, let the universe know. It's like, hey, come report on this in case something goes horribly wrong and we want to look like idiots in front of the galaxy.
Because that's never happened to them ever. Nothing has ever gone wrong while testing it. However, Starfleet then receives a decade-old emergency message from Station 1 orbiting the Black Box Nebula, and the Enterprise is sent on a rescue mission. The Black Box Nebula, huh? Kind of like the black box they'll find on the flaming wreckage of the Enterprise when yet another fucking test goes wrong.
That refuses to talk to anyone.
On the black box, there's a fucking spray-painted sun, and underneath it just says Sun's Rule.
And meanwhile, they've got the black box, and they're like, all right, let's play the flight recording back, see what went wrong. I ain't saying nothing, see? You can't make me talk. What do you think I am, a squealer?
I was just thinking, the black box can override the command, so it's just like, I don't have to play this for you.
I don't feel like it. Try again tomorrow.
It's a magic 8-ball.
Yeah, it's not a black box, it's a black ball. Did the Enterprise do an uh-oh? Outlook not so good.
Yeah.
Did the Enterprise do an uh-oh so it shat its pants?
Well, catastrophically, sure. That's one way to put it.
Yeah. All right.
The mostly Vulcan staff are led by T'Prilla, which is a great name, who advocated a different way.
It sounds Vulcan.
It does. It's just it sounds. Look, after click, it just the apostrophes got me giggling.
Yeah,
I giggle when I see apostrophes. The internet has broken me.
Okay. All right, Nurse. We got another one. Get 40 cc's of Trellisane.
I'm just waiting for the next novel where they introduce a character that's just 8 R's separated by apostrophes.
It's just a word bubble filled with commas.
Oh, hey, Billy, I realize you're playing with your race cars right now, but I need a name for this alien.
I thought you were going to go okay, it's good enough. So the Vulcan staff are led by T'Prilla, who advocated a different way of making logical deductions by intuition. However, the staff behave strangely and are reluctant to allow the members of their personnel held in suspended animation to be taken back to the Enterprise for revival. McCoy hits a further stumbling block when the monitors deem them legally dead and refuse to revive them.
Trial's going great so far.
Yeah!
We did it. The computer assumes that they're dead and refuses to revive them. This is exactly what we were hoping to accomplish.
Excellent! The future has arrived! That's what doctors love, right? Is giving up. Doctors love giving up when they find somebody who needs help.
Not to mention, like, all the times in Star Trek that someone was pronounced legally dead but then still revived.
It's almost like that's not even a thing you should consider right away in this day and age, but, you know, what do I know? I'm just the reader. So Chekhov comes under the influence of the intelligence controlling the Vulcans and sabotages a shuttlecraft. However, Kirk and Spock had anticipated it and shield both him and T'Prilla. Wait, I'm waiting.
I don't think this was explained this far.
This is
the
what
intelligence
I've got,
controlling
man.
the Vulcans is like a new thing that they just told us about, but somehow Kirk and Spock anticipated this.
Well, that's because they'd read the book first. Little did Chekhov know that we're friends of the author. We got advance copies.
Speaking of advanced copies, I did find out
the author writing a footnote in the book saying that he's personal friends with Kirk and Spock, so they know.
I was gonna say, apparently we'll be able to finally see The Day the Clown Cried in 2025.
That's true. Jerry Lewis left a copy with the Library of Congress.
Yeah, with the film archives. I had no fucking idea, and this is just like all the other stuff I was mentioning. This is one of those things, just like the Boonga Boonga cabinet. I have to see The Day the Clown Cried at some point. I will
absolutely.
Go to
So
Virginia
do I.
and sit in that theater. But let's go back to talking about what Star Trek. Sorry, I forgot what the fuck we were talking about.
Star Trek, The Day the Clown Cried, whatever. They're in the same universe.
Oh my god, what I wouldn't give to see an episode of Star Trek called The Day the Clown Cried. Please!
The Day the Klingon Cried.
Oh yes. Oh my god. Oh.
Can you imagine a Klingon clown? What sort of hijinks would Klingons find hilarious?
What sort of hijinks? Oh, I don't know. Blood, wine, and battle.
They find, you know, that video, like those shock videos of like somebody like driving a nail through their balls or something, like that's what Klingons find funny.
So just the Pain Olympics.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yes.
I've been on the internet for many a year. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. So Kirk and Spock had anticipated it and shield both him and T'Prilla from the effects of the Ibakra radiation, which the intelligence has been using to control them. T'Prilla explains the intelligence, Corona, first infected her children, Radak and Taros, and used them to control the others. Radak is sent to sabotage the Enterprise, but the ship takes him clear of Corona's influence. The Enterprise attempts to beam up the landing party, but Spock and Mason are left behind. Spock transfers a small part of his consciousness to Mason before Corona can control him, allowing her mind to meld with Taros. T'Prilla does the same to Radak, depriving Corona of its mediums. It transpires Corona was one of a number of beings who existed in the few minutes after the creation of the universe. It sees the universe as dead and wishes to return it to its former state. What? What the
I'm
fuck
noticing
are you
a
talking
recurring
about?
theme here of these novelizations every single time it has to be a universe-threatening event. Like, the first few novels we talked about, you know, it's like, it's a single planet, a single species. Now, it's like every single time, there has to be something that threatens the universe. It's like, false vacuum, Bacta radiation, tearing a hole through the sky. Did they need money that badly from the novelizations?
Well, look, I mean, what it comes down to is there's only so many times.
Each author wants to one-up the last one.
Oh, okay.
Well, that too. That's basically what I was about to say, is like, there's only so many times you can rescue a single planet or even like a single star system before people start going, boring. So now it has to be off the fucking walls bonkers shit where it's like, our reality and 3 parallel realities all hang in the balance.
You know what? That does
also
explain a lot about some of the newer Star Wars expanded universe stuff.
So was Spock always able to like daisy chain mind builds between like 3 people without touching them, or what is that?
I don't know what the hell's going on. I know he was somehow able to put his consciousness inside of McCoy, and that's what happened with Star Trek 3. But yeah, as far as what's happening here, I don't get it. And the thing that I really don't get is these things are, so Corona is a series of sentient stars. Like they can sense the minds of these other living beings. Yet despite this, they're like, the universe is fucking dead. Whatever I'm sensing here, that can't be alive.
Hold on a second. Hey, Spock. Can you mind meld with a sun?
Yeah, they're actively telepathically controlling people to sabotage ships, but they still think that nobody exists anymore?
Yeah, the universe is dead, so you gotta start it over. But at least we know if you can't mind meld with the sun, at least Kirk can blow it up.
Zoom in close to an image of the sun with the Miyazaki glasses on. The universe was a mistake.
No, this is how he wins. He just shoots torpedoes into the Coronas and then they just turn good.
Yeah, just like how he saved that other planet.
Oh, so not another supernova.
Exactly.
Kirk tries to reason with Corona, but the monitors take over and fire upon the station in an attempt to destroy Corona's machinery. However, Corona is affected by...
I'm starting to think this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, Corona, we need to have a talk. I'm sorry, we can only understand things 10,000 degrees or hotter.
Well, allow me to strip down to my G-string then.
God damn it! Stop stripping naked and singing Gilbert and Sullivan,
I am the
Kirk.
very model of a modern Major General. Please don't destroy the universe. Please don't destroy the universe. It's the only place that we live, and we don't want to go away first.
And scene.
However, Corona is affected by Mason's emotional plea, recognizing life in the universe for the first time. It abandons its plan and convinces the monitors to revive the hibernators.
What? Wait, so
literally,
the stars are able to tell the computers what?
Not only that, but it takes somebody going, please, sir, oh, please don't destroy us, for it to go, oh, wow, there's something there? I thought we were just playing with action figures, but it talked.
Well, since you asked nicely, son punches kid in groin.
And then Kirk just goes, roll up the windows, roll up the windows.
Go faster. I don't care if it's red. Go faster.
I thought by now we're definitely going to at least get into a novel that just sounds pretty good and not really worth doing like a bit about on this show, but we just haven't found one. They all sound totally nuts.
Okay, Tom, 2 things. Number 1, you've had me on since the beginning. I will do bits about everything. Do not delude yourself.
I mean, like, there was not one single novel where we were going through our notes and you're like, oh yeah, this isn't worth talking about. There's nothing interesting here. Every single one of them is just mind-blowingly stupid.
Number 2, I really hope that the next novel is about them talking about what catering they want. And that is the big conflict in the story.
And yet somehow this is still a universe-threatening event.
At the end of the story about the catering, they just decide that Neelix's cooking is terrible.
A mad Romulan chef has decided to hold the universe hostage with his new quantum antimatter destruction eliminator cake. If you do not eat my quantum antimatter eliminator cake, Captain Kirk, then I shall use it on the universe.
Also, Kirk, put on some pants for God's sake.
I am the very model of a modern Major General.
No. Although in Starfleet, it would be a Rear Admiral.
Which admiral's taking up the rear on this one?
Wonk, wonk.
I don't know. I don't know the names of the admirals off the top of my head. Is this a legitimate question?
I think it's Admiral
Star
Jeffy.
Trek admirals.
So, we got another one here, and this one's called The Final Reflection. So if you look in a mirror after reading this book...
Admiral Strickler. You know, Strickler sounds like a rear admiral that would drop his pants. It's Strickler.
Yeah, you know, Strickler propane.
Glad we could get to the bottom of that.
I sell propane and propane accessories.
Go ahead. What's the plot?
I'm going to give a little tip of the hat to our hosts for the get to the bottom of that pun.
Thank you.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I thought it was really smart, but 3 seconds after I said it.
Steve took a minute. So, this one is interesting in that it doesn't appear to be about the fucking bridge crew. If we look at the cover, for instance, right away we see a really weird thing in that this is like years after they had done the movies with the better budget for makeup, but we've still got a original series style Klingon on the cover here.
I thought that was Spock, but I think that's...
No, Spock is on it with this other guy who is just a Klingon, who's just a guy in a shirt with some brown makeup on. Yeah, I think that's Spock on the left, and that's the Klingon on the right. And I don't know who's in the background, but his shirt with the glorious golden bow on the front is just darling.
You said it's Star Trek Instance?
What?
What's the name of the book?
The Final Reflection.
Okay. Okay.
The Star Trek Instance, that's way off, my friend.
Well, no, because for some reason I heard that, and then the search results took me to Star Trek Instant Pot.
All I can say is the guy in the background looks like a Vulcan Khan with a big exposed like chest hair thing going on here.
You think that's exposed? It's, you know, blocking off his lower half.
I was reading the chest as like he's got a really frilly gold reflective shirt with like a big like present bow on the front of it.
Ah, got it. It's the live action adaptation of Yuri on Ice.
Ah, I sort of get that reference.
He's got like a circle neck thing going on. He's like...
It's a floor routine, ice skating.
Yeah, circle neck is my favorite ice skating routine.
It looks like they're playing traditional chess, but with really weird looking pieces. Like, this isn't the Vulcan 3D chess. It's just...
No, look, I took your queen, so you give me your fries.
Okay, so I'd like to point out that a Vulcan and a Klingon are playing a human board game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yes.
I just, like, this doesn't seem...
Look, it was this or Twister. What were they gonna pick?
I was gonna say, you immediately assume that it's Star Trek, so it's not chess, it's space chess.
It's chess with an apostrophe in it.
With 7 fucking dashes and a silent CR.
This Klingon is, according to the blurb, a captain named Kren who learns about peace during a mission to Earth.
Learns about peace?
Yes, apparently the Klingons
Klingons have never heard of the concept before.
Not about piece, a lesson about
He
piece.
literally, on the home world of the Klingons, there's never a dull moment in that they're literally always fighting. They don't stop moving. They fall asleep briefly, only to wake up punching. They come right out of it.
Good morning to you too, Kilrog.
Girl Scouts come to your door selling cookies and you stab them and they say, yes, this is normal.
And for good measure, they stab the cookies.
And then they, if they hadn't stabbed the cookies, they'd find that when they bit into it, it releases like a spring-loaded knife into their brain.
What a glorious prank! Good day to you!
The Girl Scouts anticipated the treachery and planned it accordingly.
Yeah. After returning home, he must risk life and limb to stop a secret plot to shatter the Federation and launch an all-out war.
Okay, so more war.
Mm-hmm. And I was wrong, actually. There is stuff about the bridge crew in here. It's not just about this guy, but it's oddly focused on this one made-up guy who's, like, not even on the ship with them, which is still pretty impressive for one of these books, because usually it's like right out of the gate, it's like, Spock and Scotty were holding hands in the gym when McCoy came over and said, okay, boys, it's time to climb the rope. And Scotty was so scared. You can stop me at any time. You can stop me at any time. Why did you let me keep going?
I will. Okay, I got you, Ian. I got you. I'll save you. I want to point out it is very funny to me that Leonard McCoy's ancestor, TJ McCoy, is the leader of the Back to Earth movement. That is hilarious.
Is this just something you found on the wiki right now?
Back to our roots.
It feels very like McCoy, of anybody. If there was a South in space, that's where his family hails from.
Okay, so Kirk witnesses many of the Enterprise crew returning from shore leave, having been affected by a new novel, The Final Reflection, which Starfleet insists is entirely fictional.
Wait, okay.
So it's a book about them reading the book.
No comment, no notes.
So I'm just imagining, like, there's gonna be a scene where Kirk's sitting there reading the book going, yes. This is a fantastic novel, this Final Reflection. I think the writer of this novel deserves a raise from the company that published it.
It's like they tried to do The King in Yellow, but completely lost the thread. Good job.
Yeah. McCoy gives Kirk a copy of the book to read. So yeah, there we go. That is exactly what happens. The author just masturbates himself for a few pages with Kirk saying, my God, The Final Reflection is the finest book in the English language. Shakespeare, I would take a dump on his grave.
Final Reflection comes with a pre-sized 2-inch diameter hole for self-masturbating.
Yeah.
I just want the rest of the book to have nothing to do with Star Trek, and it's just entirely talking up the author and how cool he is.
It's 100 pages, and all of it past the first 3 is just the author going, no, seriously, like, I'm fucking awesome. Have you ever seen me? You should. I should be on every TV station. I should be in every movie. I should have my own magazine. There should be a religion based around me. I want my own collector's cup from Burger King.
And he submitted it, and the publisher said, yeah, this is fine.
Next page, let me tell you about that time I parked in the wrong area and some sun stole my car.
Oh, God. So, the novel tells the story of a Klingon orphan named Vren, who, after impressing in a game using real people as pieces, was adopted by a Klingon admiral named Keithus.
Wait. Real people as pieces.
Yeah.
So, like how rich people play chess in movies.
Yeah, exactly. In movies
so this
from,
is
like,
History of the World Part 1.
Yeah. History of the Klingons Part 1. Vren eventually joined the Klingon.
I've seen a bunch of like movies and whatnot where they do this. They have chess with like real people as the pieces, and it's like it's something that everyone thinks is this cool dramatic thing. But if it happened in real life, it would be so boring.
Well, not just that. Like when they show it in movies, they only show like a fragment of a scene. Give me a full human-sized chess game YouTube video. Give me 2.5 hours of somebody commanding the pieces on the board.
Only 2.5 hours? Like, you have like a 2-day long game between two chess masters. And
they have like, a good editor.
And it's like the pawns are like blocking each other for the entire game. So two people are just standing there doing nothing for the entire game. The knight just keeps going back and forth between two
Mr.
spaces.
Smith, Greg says he has to go to the bathroom again. Can we take 5?
You'll go in the diaper I assigned you.
Shallow dive indeed.
So Vren eventually joined the Klingon Navy.
In the Navy!
Which, I know that's technically correct. Starfleet is considered a Navy as well, but it's just fucking weird to think about that being the Navy in space.
I don't know. It kind of does make sense to me. Like there's ships, you know.
Yeah,
water,
it makes sense.
Water is kind of a metaphor for space. Yeah,
they just never ever refer to it as the Navy really by name in science fiction. So like hearing it just blatantly called like the Klingon Navy is just like I now suddenly imagine he's in like the Captain Crunch hat with the epaulets and he's like on a schooner out on the bay.
I'm just imagining like the village people in those outfits just doing their jaunty dance.
The village people in Klingon are known as Chidach Chukon.
And they are not tolerated.
The Klingon opera version of In the Navy is one of the most awe-inspiring songs to chant before entering into battle.
And also, every time it's performed, at least 7 deaths. Always. It's not done right if they don't have that many.
Clowns. That's all the clowns stabbing themselves. Experience beige.
Funnily enough, all 7 clowns look like Tony Danza.
Because they were.
Because there are 7 roles.
Yeah, Vren eventually joined the Klingon Navy and provided a strategy to defeat a Romulan attack. Soon after, he was informed that Kethus had been involved in a plot to make a secret treaty with the Romulans. Kethus was executed, but Vren was absolved and allowed to assume a new identity as a captain named Kren. Wow! Cunning disguise!
They'll never suspect! They will never suspect me!
He's got a fake mustache clearly stuck on top of a real mustache.
I'm not
My name
Vren,
is Mr.
I'm
Scrub.
Correct. And I come from far away.
I was just gonna make that joke, damn it. No, I'm Mr. Kren from someplace far, far away. Some years later, Kren was sent to attend a Babel conference on Earth and collect a new Federation ambassador, Emmanuel Tagore.
Wait, hold on. That's the name, or is he picking up an instruction manual on how to gore somebody?
Damn it! Stop taking my damn jokes. I was just gonna say this was actually he was stopping at Barnes and Noble to get a copy of his favorite book, Emmanuel Tagore.
Or the second bestseller, How to Gore for Dummies.
Even the most foolish Chaplach can bring great honor to his family with the help of this book.
No experience beige.
Along the way, he met Maxwell Grandison III, the leader of the Back to Earth movement, who wanted humanity to leave the Federation and remain on Earth. On the return... Now, before I'm going to cut myself off here. Yeah. What a fucking stupid idea. how many human colonies are there that take up like whole planets in space? And this asshole's like, all of them come back to Earth. We'll build skyscrapers that go up and touch the moon if we have to in order to house them here. I don't want them on those other filthy planets with those filthy space foreigners coming near them.
Calm down, Space Alex Jones.
I'm just trying to figure out how to make an Earth version of the word Brexit.
Oh, well, here, let me give you the How to Make an Earth version of Brexit for Dummies book.
Erxit. Well, actually, they're exiting Starfleet, so you could go Flexit. Starflexit.
Really, the entire movement should have just been called "You're Grounded, Child."
On the return trip, Kren's first officer Akil attempted to assassinate Tagore, but Akil tried to assassinate Tagore? Really?
Wow.
Really? But was stopped by Kren and his childhood friend Gelly, now an Imperial intelligence agent who became Kren's consort. Gelly. Like Kelly with a G?
I see what he's doing here. He's taking a page out of the George Lucas naming book.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I'm just imagining Akil having his own self-published book about himself called A View to a Kill.
For dummies.
God! For dummies. Kren and his crew later took Tagore back to Earth on a diplomatic mission. Kren had Zarn, another childhood friend now changed into a mind-wiped assassin, released from stasis and met with Thomas Jackson McCoy, the personal physician of Grandison and grandfather of Leonard. Soon after, Starfleet Commander-in-Chief Admiral Marcus Van Diemen was murdered and Grandison fell to his death in mysterious circumstances.
Wait, we might have glazed over that Kren's old childhood friend Gelly is now an Imperial intelligence agent who became Kren's consort?
No, what part of that are we glazing over?
There are so many plot points.
I'm sorry, I don't have the mental energy left to think about that.
Now, what are we talking about? Like glazed donuts? Maybe Kren and Gelly are doing a little bit of Rear Admiral themselves, like...
Jeez.
They're making a little bit of, kaplach. That's a sound when hips clap against butt, right? Kaplach, kaplach, kaplach.
Val, we've been having sex wrong. She just yelled down, "Welp."
I feel like this is a normal thing you yell at her.
I'm assuming at least twice daily, new information is discovered that leads to it being yelled again. It turns out, we didn't even need the caulking gun. Nobody else uses that.
She sent me a text this morning saying "crunchitize me," followed by a picture of the Captain Crunch box, and I said, "Later when no one's around, with ropes."
Kren and Tagore
she just
met
replied
with new
with
commander.
Go ahead.
No, please tell me how the response went. Now that I know that's on the table.
Oh, she just sent a thumbs up.
Oh, okay, good. Kren and Tagore met with new Commander-in-Chief Admiral Douglas Tancred Shepard and Deneva Representative Carter Winston, where Kren presented them with evidence that Van Diemen had been deliberately ordering Federation ships to violate the Klingon neutral zone and be destroyed, feeling a mutual fear of the Klingons was keeping the Federation members together. Kren sold the evidence in exchange for information on dilithium and antimatter that will allow the Klingons to enhance their engines and weapons.
Wow.
Tagore was recalled but joined Kren in destroying a Klingon task force sent to bombard a Federation colony. Kren explained that the Klingons had already had the information on dilithium and antimatter, but now both the Federation and the Klingons would view the other as too powerful to attack.
All right, look, DM, if you're just gonna ramble for 45 minutes and not let me roll my fucking dice, I'm going home.
That's what this entire story is, yes. I was right all along.
I'm saying that's what this feels like. It literally feels like a DM filleting themselves.
This is literally Captain Kirk gets handed a book at the beginning and then reads it, and it's a book about a Klingon guy.
This is terrible.
So it's like The Princess Bride.
Of note, this novel uses information from a then canonical reference book called Spaceflight Chronology and humorously Star Trek the Role-Playing Game as published by FASA.
Oh, wow.
Apparently for Trekkies, this makes the information...
God!
Yes,
no.
sir, you weren't far off with your DM comment. You were not far off at all.
I'm kind of impressed you called that.
Look, if you find that stuff exciting, author, I'm speaking proverbially to you, if you find that stuff exciting, great, lovely. Not everybody else does.
This author's the only guy in America who sat down for, like, the prequels of Star Wars, and when they got onto the Trade Federation shit, he was sitting there going, yeah! Regulate the shit out of that economy, yeah!
He was very disappointed that they never published an officially authorized book of tax law in the Star Wars universe.
I'm just thinking half of the memory beta wiki is entries for all the different characters introduced in this summary.
Yeah, probably.
Wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
This is where most of the non-canon characters in Star Trek originate, is this book.
You've got Ren and Kren, who are secretly the same character, but we're gonna leave that as a reveal for later. We've got Maxwell Grandison, we've got Emmanuel Tagore, we've got Thomas Jackson McCoy.
Maxwell Grandison, he is friends with Anderson, and he's gone to school.
So every single episode of this, I do something relatively silly. Do I want to buy a copy of Star Trek Spaceflight Chronology?
For Trekkies, the information used because of this is difficult to reconcile with current accepted canon for a number of technical reasons I'm sure are very funny. So just keep in mind, Spaceflight Chronology, not really 100% canon anymore. So take it with a grain of salt. I
have never cared about canon. In fact, I piss all over canon.
You can't say this.
If it defies canon, I'm all on board with this. I'm buying the book right now. Oh my gosh. Oh, this book looks terrible. I cannot wait for it to get here.
I guess you ordered it.
I love the idea of a book that's like, here's the canon of this setting. And then like 10 years later, everyone's going, that book's not canon.
Yeah, I feel like that happens with any kind of fictional universe where you just let the creative heads just take in whatever direction they want, and then it's only a matter of time before everything contradicts each other, and then they say, oh well, this is a different universe, and then you've got 16 universes and then 300 universes.
Oh hey,
and then they try to bridge the universes, and that just makes it more impossible to understand. You just wait
till we get to Wiki Sift episode 492 and we start messing up our own canon.
Yeah, it turns out that all the jokes about the numbered Spocks, those are not canon anymore. It turns out that there's only two Spocks, Spock 17 and Spock 400-B. Those are the only two Spocks that are still canon.
Also turns out that Tom's real name is Reynold.
What?
I know how to swear a cuss. Ahem. Diaper biscuit.
Biscuits.
So we're at my enemy, my ally then.
My enema, my ally.
My enemy, my ally. That's what it sounds like. It's the song from the breakout song from the Star Trek musical. My enemy, my ally.
My enemy, my ally. Rejected from the Pocahontas soundtrack.
Oh no.
That's a deep. That's a deep fucking cut.
So this is one with some really, really great names.
Oh boy.
Oh.
A ale till relay you. Ale relay you.
How dare they only put one apostrophe in that?
I just wanted some chimichangas and a Corraro. I wanted some horchata, and he wouldn't give me none of that damn horchata. El Turliu is a noble and dangerous Romulan commander.
So dangerous that most Romulans dare not say his name.
But when the Romulans kidnap Vulcans to genetically harness their mind power, Ale decides on treason. Captain Kirk, her old enemy. Her old enemy, because we've heard so much about Ale Turliu before, we know all about this character, joins her in a secret pact to destroy the research laboratory and free the captive Vulcans. When the Romulans discover their plan, the neutral zone seethes with schemes and counter-schemes, sabotage, and war.
Oh no, counter schemes.
I love schemes and counter schemes, sabotage, and you could have just said schemes, sabotage, and war, and the counter schemes would then be implied. But, you know, what do I know, right? I'm just some jerk ass reading this.
It's just the scene from Mystery Men where they're saying, I know you knew, and I also knew that you knew I know.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I only knew that you knew that I knew. Did you know that?
There's more to the name. I'm sorry. That's not the full name of the character. The next line here says, A.L. Imhisan Tirulielu. A Romulan commander ponders her situation and that of the Romulan Empire. Due to her objections to an immoral scientific project being carried out at Laveri 5, she has been assigned to command. She's been assigned command of the vessel Chircurias. That one is just a word I don't know how to say. I've never learned how to say it properly.
Okay, Mittens, mash your paw on the keyboard to name this ship.
Okay, like, a cuirass is some type of medieval armor or something, right? But I don't know what CHR means.
I'm aware of that, I just don't know how it's spoken. I'm always worried that it's pronounced like cuirass, and that sounds like way too much like a slur.
Yeah.
I shouldn't...
Also, happy Pride Month.
I shouldn't be surprised that someone took the time to spell out his entire name, including middle name, in this summary, but it still kind of took me aback.
It's still better than an entire novel. Guess how awesome I am.
Like, someone read through this novel, found one point where it mentions their middle name, and is like, oh, I've got to put this in the wiki page.
Everybody's got to know about A.L. Imhisan Tirulielu. Sir, are you having a stroke? No, I'm saying the name of this character.
You know, I said earlier I've been, having trouble sleeping lately. Now that I've heard of this character whose name I won't even try to fucking pronounce, I'll sleep like a baby. Saved me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All is good in the world again.
So this commander's been basically exiled by being put on the ship on neutral zone patrol. And she receives a message from her son. Her name is 1,000,000 words long. Her son's name is Taf. Taf.
Equally unpronounceable, but much shorter.
Yeah.
Are you sneezing halfway through pronouncing these names?
I think that's what was going. The guy was dictating, and he kept sneezing.
Excuse me. Gesundheit.
Now commanding her former vessel. What's wrong with my brain? Because I've been reading all these names, my brain's melting.
Yeah.
Now commanding her former vessel, Bloodwing.
That's a kind of a cool name.
Covertly informing her that he is ready to implement their plan. Ale receives word of the arrival of a new Federation patrol group at the neutral zone, which includes the USS Enterprise.
Oh, no.
Aboard the Enterprise, Spock's been investigating the increasing severity of ion storms in a part of the galaxy they're currently exploring. So, real exciting shit, balls to the walls fun being had aboard the Enterprise today. In recreation, Kirk and Spock play a game of 4D chess. Ooh! As Kirk is about to resign, McCoy steps in for him and wins the game when pieces Kirk had timed out reappear in the playing area.
What?
So he cheated. Is what I'm getting from this.
I don't... Okay. I'm guessing... Okay. When did they actually codify the rules of this 4D chess game? Like, did they invent the whole rules before it appeared on the show? Or do you think they just, like, made it up for the show and
I'm
later...
not a hyper dork nerd. I'm only a super dork nerd.
I'm just wondering, though, if... I'm wondering if this writer was like, well, no one's supposed to understand this 4D chess. I'll just make up whatever rules I want. Pieces can time out, but then if you have someone else take over for you, the pieces come back. Or like
Pieces can time out, but if you hit F5 to refresh the page, they might reload onto the board.
Yeah.
Kirk receives orders from Starfleet Command to lead a task force consisting of Enterprise, USS Intrepid, USS Constellation, and USS Inau?
Close. Yeah, valiant effort.
That's entirely vowels.
Au. John
we
Madden.
went from a name
John
that
Madden.
was entirely consonants to one that's entirely vowels.
Yeah. To the board of the neutral zone. The reason for the mission is not specified. Kirk requests a report from Uhura on any information in recent fleet dispatches that might provide insight into what Starfleet is concerned about. When Kirk reads the list in Uhura's report of Romulan ships patrolling the neutral zone, he is startled and concerned by the absence of Bloodwing.
Okay, I just want to make it clear, because this is an audio-only podcast. I need to spell this word out so people understand. I-N-A-I-E-U.
Au.
That is all.
Tom, when I said to use your words, I meant use your words better.
Ale takes her personal gig.
What?
Saja.
Oh, come on!
On an inspection
Tom,
tour.
Tom, can you spell that one out for us now?
Okay, yes, I will spell this out. H-S-A-A-J-A.
Bingo!
There was a bingo square that was just 3 A's in one word that's only 6 letters long.
Yeah, it's called Space Bingo. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah, you can time out your column if you're not getting enough hits in it.
You know, next time we do a Star Trek episode, I'm making bingo sheets, and one of us is going to win something.
That is a good idea. I'll play.
That is a good idea.
I will absolutely play.
So where were we? Right, the stupid name. On an inspection tour of the other 3 ships in the small fleet she is commanding, all of which were purchased from the Klingons. Wait, what? So wait a minute. She's been put into exile aboard, like, an actual ship from the Romulan fleet. And she just was like, well, fuck it. We're going to go visit with the Klingons and buy some ships for, you know, just for my own fleet.
Show up to the Klingons. What are you buying?
She discovers that all 4 ships' ID signals still identify them by Klingon names and realizes that Command's intent is to order her across the neutral zone to fool the Federation into thinking the Klingons are attacking them and start a war between the 2 enemy powers. She returns to Quiris to prevent the orders to cross the zone
Just
from
say
arriving.
Smith. Just say Smith.
She returns to Smith to prevent the orders to cross the zone from arriving, on the way launching a small probe that will carry a message to Smith on Bloodwing.
Smith. Yeah, just everything is Smith.
Enterprise meets the 3 other ships of the task force in the Sigma 285 Trianguli system. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty.
Trianguli?
Yes. Sigma 285 Trianguli.
Hey, that is my favorite kind of pasta. It's delicious.
I thought that's what you called a single slice of pie, a trianguli.
That's a slice of pizza.
Oh.
I mean, they've had all of these words that are aggressively against anything that anyone could pronounce And then they're just like respelling basic shapes. Like,
How to reuse your Metroid passwords as character names for dummies.
Just rearrange the letters until they form something resembling a name. It's fine.
The Sigma 285 Trianguli system.
Delicious.
Yes.
Can't recommend it enough.
I love it with a little bit of extra sauce on the side for dipping.
7 tablespoons of parm on top for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is 285 the grading of uranium that you add to the pasta?
Yes.
It is the best last meal you will ever eat.
If it's any lower than that, the one meal won't kill you. You'll just get very, very sick first. And that, you don't want to prolong the suffering. You know, just get it out of the way.
Tom, I feel so bad when you have to edit this episode.
Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty attend a briefing with the senior officers of the other 3 ships aboard Ineu, a destroyer crewed primarily by natives of the Deneb system. Kirk is especially interested to meet
That's
Captain...
a Star Wars system.
No, it's an actual,
No, you're
like...
thinking Dagobah.
But it is an actual, like, fucking solar system, though, too.
Oh, but Star Wars doesn't
I'm blatantly
take place
dangerous. Don't question this.
Okay, no, I'm looking this up on Wikipedia.
Hold on, wait a second here. What's up?
No, it's Denab system.
Oh, God, fucking damn it. It's legally distinct. 1 letter difference. That's enough. Just like my character, Cyperman. And of course, Buttman.
All right, what's the climax? What's the
climax here? Oh, you're gonna get ready because the climax is nothing. Okay. Kirk is especially interested to meet Captain Suvok of Intrepid, famous for his heroic actions during the most recent conflict with the Klingons. The 4 captains agree to their patrol pattern and guidelines for the conduct of the operation. That's it. That's all I have.
That is how the story ends. 4 captains agree on a patrol pattern and guidelines.
I have to make sure I didn't miss something here. Honestly, this feels like it's not the end. What was this one was called? My Enemy, My Ally.
Yeah, did the intern trip on the way to the printer and lose the, like, last chapter?
Oh, it's part of a mini-series.
Oh, well then. That's a part I overlooked.
Even as the first part of a mini-series, that sucks as an ending. That is not a hook.
Yeah, no, it certainly isn't.
Anyways, this has been Wiki Sift.
It's like if Empire Strikes Back didn't end up with like Han and the Kryptonite or the Carbonite, and the ending is just like the rebels getting together. It's like, all right, let's talk about what our plan is to attack Vader. And then it just ends.
This is more important. Shut up, everybody. Listen, I found under the background on the page a holographic representation of a television character bearing resemblance to the Doctor from Doctor Who is shown in the context of watching a program that is a work of fiction.
All right.
The fucking dead silence to the reaction of that.
Well,
I just find it fucking bizarre as all hell that, like, they just randomly have a part in this where they watch Doctor Who. They're like... Well,
I think that's an appropriate denouement to tonight's episode. That's a good way to shut it down, analogous with the end of that story.
Yeah, just...
I'd like to point out that we just found out that this is part of a mini-series. The next part of the mini-series is The Romulan Way, and that's about 15 books away. There's a whole bunch of books that got published between the first part of this miniseries and the second part.
Mm-hmm.
They really left people hanging.
Your ball's gonna be so blue you call him Sonic.
But let's talk about these patrol patterns for a while. Okay, considering the delay on this, I don't think we should all be trying to sing together.
I agree.
Oh, Tom, if I'm able to sync it up in post, then you could be able to sync it up in post.
Oh, boy.
I'll do it for you this time. You get one free. Is that it?
That's it
Are we
for
done?
today. Thank you to everyone for listening. Please review us on whatever you're listening to us on. It doesn't have to be a good review. Any review is fine. If you're not sure what to say, just say these people are a bunch of sad loser nerd monkeys. Until next time.
Except me, you can say that I'm awesome. The rest of them you can go to hell for all I care. But please, for the love of God, love me. Love me. Follow me on things. Give me money. Love me.
If I end up getting kicked off the show, I'm gonna go join that group of sons with the jackets and mohawks.